Miniminter wants to leave the Sidemen.
Simon, your question was that you're leaving, right?
I'm leaving the Sidemen.
Right.
Hey guys, how's life and welcome back to the channel. Now today, another clip is coming out from Side Plus where it seems like Simon Miniminter might want to leave the Sidemen. This Side Plus podcast seems to be getting the Sidemen in a lot of trouble recently. Most recently, Behzinga facing mass backlash from fans about him saying that he feels like the Sidemen are more of his colleagues than friends.
No, you lot are my colleagues.
Stop doing that. Stop doing that.
I said it in the chat the other day. I said they're not my friends anymore.
I do think that the fans overreacted in that circumstance, but I also do think that there was some wrongdoing from Ethan's point of view with the way he was sort of speaking. Overall, he just didn't portray his point very well at all. Now, a clip is surfacing of Simon sort of pondering what would happen if he left the Sidemen, which we're going to be reacting to today. Before we get into it, if you are new around here, make sure to smash the subscribe button. It's absolutely free, no charge at all, and we're having content out to you guys consistently. And of course, if you do enjoy the video, it really does help me out if you could drop a like. Right, let's get into the clip.
Simon, your question was that you're leaving, right?
I'm leaving the Sidemen. I've decided
I'm gonna need your chain back.
the charity match is going to be my last
You're
thing.
big.
That's
And if you don't get a hat trick,
you're gone.
I'm handing in my notice.
No, we'll hit 10 years, and that's when I want to stop.
10 years would be a poetic and perfect
what
end
happens?
point.
So obviously the point is hypothetical. He has just said there, though, that after 10 years that they would consider it. I do think that that is a real possibility. They have been going around for years and years. It's got to the point where in the group there seems to be a lot of fractures between the Sidemen. Obviously recently brought up by Behzinga calling them colleagues. Obviously friends fall out, friends fight. It's not unusual, and especially in a group of 7. Maybe 1 or 2 of them are quite disconnected at points. Let's see what he's got to say.
Like, we toyed with the idea of 10 years being like 10 years. Bang.
Pull the plug.
I
mean,
yeah.
I didn't toy with that idea. I don't know where you had that.
Should we?
Well, we could.
Guys, should we just end there 10 years?
I got a mortgage.
Our team of 100 employees.
I've got a mortgage.
I've got a baby. All right, but I leave 10 years. I say I want...
So their cameraman is screaming, please don't end, please don't end. I think all of their crew are working full time with the Sidemen. Obviously, that is their job. If the Sidemen were to end, they would obviously need to go find new work. I suppose if you think about the Sidemen themselves, they've obviously got enough money, all of them. Whereas if they were to retire tomorrow, they probably wouldn't need to worry about money ever again. I do believe for a majority of them, the reason that they're working is because they enjoy it. Some of them will obviously just want to be getting more and more numbers. Some of them like the fame. I feel like the end of the Sidemen could be within the next 5 years as we know it anyway. Maybe they do a video a month instead of a video a week. If you think about some of them starting families, some of them getting married, there's only so long which they'll be able to keep pumping this content out, especially over the 3 or 4 channels that they've got and plus Side Plus.
Yeah, 10 years.
What do you guys do?
I negotiate with you.
Well, I guess I'll buy your shares off you.
Okay. What if I was like, I want...
Yeah, but also, you ain't having 2/7. We're not letting that happen.
That's what I mean.
That's too much power.
We're not giving you double the voting powers that we have. That's unreasonable.
That's what I mean. That's what I want to know. Where does this go?
You know, the whole system implodes because then we just... If you
really does.
We have
Right?
6 people voting on everything. So every single vote becomes a 3-3 and the Sidemen make the same video every week for the rest of eternity.
So I suppose the good thing about having an odd number of Sidemen is when they have votes, the split's always going to be 4 versus 3. I'm assuming they don't let anyone abstain. So like you said, if someone was to drop out, there's a possibility where the votes are even. In my opinion, I don't think it will happen like a One Direction where one member drops out and they continue. I think they'll keep going until one day a couple of them sort of decide, you know what, I really need to stop doing this. And then as a group, I think they will stop that Sidemen channel as it is. I think it would be quite sad if maybe 1 or 2 members slowly started to drop. I know fans have their favourites, but there's probably people that dislike Simon, people that dislike Vic, or people that dislike JJ. But I really think the dynamic of the 7 of them is what makes them so unique and so special. So if one of them was to drop, I don't know, it would just be different. It would just be weird.
I mean, we either got to convince you to stay or boot someone else out with you.
I think there's a few.
I don't want to sell my percentage.
There'd be a few routes to go down.
Wait, no, hold on. What?
I built. I'm being devil's advocate, by the way. This is
before
everyone starts going, yeah, he's a
It's gonna clip. It's gonna get clipped on that exact bit.
I want to keep my percentage because
you built it.
I built it.
Yeah.
I'm one of the 7 Sidemen.
Okay.
So if I get rid of it, it's, you know, I'm still one of the Sidemen, but I don't want to do any of the...
I'd say there'd be a few routes to go down. So the first would be compromise on Sidemen, find a balance between what makes you want to leave Sidemen and what we want to achieve in it, compromise, balance. Is there some way we can change the way we work or reduce the amount we work or something to a smaller degree to
I
make it
will
work?
do reacts.
Just leave.
This is what I'm saying. It would be so complicated with the way that the Sidemen and the Sidemen as a business is set up. For one person just to leave, it would be difficult. And like Simon says, he's making a good point. If one of them were to leave, would it be fair to make them give up their shares? Like, they've built it from the ground up. But then at the same time, is it fair for one to go off, retire, not take place in the videos, and then to also get all of the money? From a business point of view, that would be very, very difficult to work out.
I was gonna say, Harry's watching this podcast right now, taking notes. This is what I need to do.
Second option would be like some sort of like exit compromise where it's like you keep equity of some things. Some things, let's say maybe in like 6 months' time, revenue would dilute down or something because we'd be shooting all the content. We have to work out some sort of...
This man doesn't go anywhere.
Some
Keep
sort
this
of
man.
And I think that's all we could do, and we just have to negotiate.
Or I guess try and buy him out.
But he said he's not selling.
Well,
it.
yeah.
I don't want to say unless you're going to give me like
Prime money.
500 mil.
Oh, okay, then yeah.
Exactly.
We'd have to work out what is pre-existing, what percent of what is what, and go from there.
With all of this chat, you do wonder if Behzinga's got a sort of a bit of a point. Every single video I've been seeing on Side Plus recently, or the Sidecast podcast, is about business, is about the corporate side of it. Can you just sit around and have a laugh with each other anymore, or does it have to always be so corporate? Look at the percentages, let's negotiate it. What about the content? It doesn't really feel like it's the values of what the Sidemen and YouTube is about, but I mean, it's part of it, isn't it?
Okay, and follow-on question.
Okay.
If that happened, do you think I remain in the friend group? Because I know that we are friends over there, but I think everyone would go
You know
like,
What are you talking about? We're colleagues, man.
I would say it depends how messy those negotiations are and how many things all six of us disagree with you on. Because there's a point where we'll tolerate and we'll be reasonable. But I think if it got to a point where it was just like we had like
Simon's just being a
completely
prick,
unfair
man.
settlement, I think that would inevitably, in the way that we work as friends and colleagues, it would damage everything. And there would be a line
Even
where
if you
could
try and
cross.
hide it, like eventually there'll just be this divide.
No, I think you'll notice when, let's say, if in the troops chat we just kick you out. That's when it's.
That's when you negotiated too hard.
Yeah,
that's pretty obvious.
Yeah.
When you
So that is a massive, massive point that they've just made there. One was to leave the Sidemen, would they still be friends? And by the reaction of the three of them, it was almost like a no. They were talking about how the negotiations would go. So that means that you are letting your business affect your friendship. I mean, inevitably there's going to be an element of that. But you should still be friends no matter what sort of happens at work, as they're saying. I thought Behzinga was a little bit out of line with some of his comments, but the more and more you sort of listen to this podcast, listen to them talk, it's got a point. Like, does that mean the only reason they're friends is because of the Sidemen and because of the content? That's what it sounds like. It sounds like if one of them wants to leave, which is within their rights, if they're having a family, if they're feeling like everything's too much, so they don't want to work, then they're not going to be friends with them anymore. So yes, guys, that is the full clip. Obviously, Simon is not leaving the Sidemen right now, but that did make for a very interesting conversation, and it sort of, again, resurfaced what the point that Behzinga was making the other day. Very, very interesting. Let me know your thoughts, of course, on that video. If you have enjoyed, make sure to drop a like. It really does help me out. And if you are new around here, make sure to subscribe. It's absolutely free. There's no charge. Don't worry about it. Hit that button. Plenty of content coming your way. Okay, guys, cheers for watching. Stay subscribed, and I'll see you later.